back. This is coming out late again. Life's gotten in the way. Cry about it. I'm not excusing myself. But it's, I was out later than I expected today. I was planning on being home by, upload time to get it up, but whatever. Before we start, I just want to say thanks to all of you who have subscribed. Just ticked over 100 subscribers. Now, it seems like nothing, but it is the first milestone. And I know this first 100 subscribers was the most difficult. And it just shows that some people out there care about what I care about too, and that how I go about myself, and people like me and what I like talking about, and that's a really awesome feeling. I don't know. I'm still hyped every single subscriber I get, but 100 is probably the first mini milestone. Yeah, thanks. The uploads are going to continue. If uni goes back, they might go back to every second day, and I'm overwhelmed. But expect more of daily uploads. I don't know what the plan with the shorts are. I've tried it. It's been doing well, but I've got to find a good method to getting shorts out consistently. Anyways, that's for me to sort out and for you to find out. All right. You've read the title of the video. Now, things that shit me about society, modern society. Now, this is one that I've been actually thinking about for an extended period of time, especially since I've been really committing to self-improvement. Kind of not long after I started the YouTube channel, and understanding that once I fully understood that starting and achieving your dream life takes nothing to start. And I've not separated myself from modern society, but I see a lot of traits and what I want to be and things that I'm passionate about and believe in are completely different to a lot of people. And this is completely my opinion, and I'm not saying anyone's wrong, but this is what I've observed and what I think and what pisses me off. All right, now I've got 4 things. I've actually taken some notes because I wanted to be prepared. I'm going to start preparing myself more for the videos, for your benefit and for mine actually. So I've got four main topics I'm going to talk about, and any more that come to mind. The first one is the lack of ambition I see, especially in young people. Now, when I'm talking ambition, I'm talking, everyone has dreams, right? Everyone wants to become a professional athlete or make $1 million or whatever their dream is. But very few actually at least try to go and achieve that. Now, you have a lot more respect for people who are failed businessmen rather than businessmen who thought they weren't good enough but never tried, so never actually found out. Because at least the guy who failed a business tried and was, ambitious enough to go, commit to something. And at one point they believed that it was going to work, and that was the thing. Now, it doesn't always work out, and that's fine. But if you are willing to try once, you're willing to try again and again and again until it does work. And that mindset is the best mindset to have. And I don't understand why so many young people are so afraid to go and try things. Well, people in general, but young people especially. But for people in general, everyone's worried about getting a safe job and whatnot. But especially while you're young. That's why I'm talking to young people here mostly. Because while you're young, the repercussions of trying shit are so little. Like if you want to go and start up a fucking, clothing business or whatever, like, you can just do that shit for damn near free. Like, a lot of these Shopify and whatnot, and you can set everything up and actually have like a decent looking business, print on demand stuff and whatnot, for damn near nothing. And what happens if it doesn't fail? Oh well, you lost some time, but you put into a business, but you learned how to build a website and run all the back end stuff of a website and put products out and whatnot. Is that not valuable information? You can apply that elsewhere. You might really love that shit and become a web designer. Boom, you just found the thing you want to do. And this lack of willingness to try shit pisses me off, because I feel like I'm ambitious, and any opportunity I get, especially recently in the last 12 months to 2 years, I've been really trying to take advantage of as many opportunities as possible, because often enough they only come around once. And there's almost always you're going to get something positive out of it, whether that's knowledge, experience, monetary value, whatever it is. And I just don't understand why young people want to just go into a safe job that pays not much and just, whittle away their best years, doing something they could do if everything else fails. If you've tried 25 businesses and you've actually got nothing left and you're forced to go and get a job, and then whatever, but at least you've tried. You know what I mean? You can't not have information and knowledge from failing 25 businesses, assuming you tried and committed to them and given them a red hot shot, and they just didn't work out. You did that 25 times and you haven't made it, you're going to have at least a fuck ton of knowledge on what not to do. You know what I mean? Like, that may be invaluable to a business who has made it and doesn't want those mistakes to happen to them. If you can come in, you may just bang like that. That's what I mean. Like, but people are so afraid of those fuck ups that they're just willing to just, lie down and get a fucking 9 to 5 and sit in an office for the rest of their life till they retire, and then they've got, no motivation. And it's just, it doesn't feel right. Now maybe I'm just wired differently, or I've seen the light earlier than a lot of people have, but I'm doing something with my life. I don't give a fuck, and I'm doing it while I'm young. Now these are my good years, so I'm going to commit a few of them to working hard and setting myself up and enjoying 90% of my life, or even more, 95. If I commit 5 years to an 8-year life, what is that? I fucking know. 14? 13? 14? 16? There we go. 16. 1/16 of my life, assuming I could live 80 years, and I spent 5 years working. I've spent 1/16. I don't know what that is. That's like a computer here. 1/16 is 6.3%. Right? Yeah, 6.3% of my life, and then I can enjoy the rest of it. Now, that's kind of what has been really on my mind, especially quite recently. Now, the next one has been right back since I started self-improvement, and that's the YOLO mindset. Now, for those of you who don't know what YOLO is, it's you only live once, and it's those people who excuse dumb decisions or things they're going to regret for, you only live once. And it's like, yes, you only live once, but do you want to go and live your life full of instant gratification and dealing with the consequences later, rather than, working hard now and delaying gratification for a substantially better life in the future, setting your future self up? Because whether you like it or not, that future self will become your present self, and what you do in the present makes your life either better or worse for your future self. So by saying you only live once, you're basically saying whatever happens, happens, and I'd rather live a short, good life than a good shit life, than a long shit life. But they don't understand that you can have both. You know what I mean? That you can commit for a short time, and maybe shit for the short time, but then you live that awesome life for so long. But they're not willing to do that, and so they're willing to live what may be okay, having fun, getting smashed every weekend, and eating shit and doing stupid things. But I'd rather travel the world and be able to just tap my card without thinking about it, and drive a nice car and wear nice clothes, and not ever have to think about money or my parents having to work, or than to live in the moment. Or when I say live in the moment, I mean instant gratification, and not caring about what the future holds. And I actually also believe that it's quite selfish, because you can consider yourself, your current self, and your future self two different people. With better or worse, that doesn't matter. But when you are living a YOLO mindset, you are living to please your current self at the expense of your future self, which is objectively selfish. And when that present self comes around, or that future self becomes a present self, then all of a sudden you feel like shit, and you're like, it's a perfect example is getting drunk and then getting hungover the next morning. Like, you're drinking and you're well aware that you're going to get hungover and feel like shit, but you still do it anyway, and then you just leave that for your future self to deal with, rather than you could have either less alcohol or none at all, non-alcoholic drinks, and feel great in the morning. You know what I mean? It's selfish mindset, and I feel like it's adopted normally by people who have, like I said earlier, no ambition, or don't shallow character, and don't want to put in the work. It's a bit disappointing, but it's out of my power, but it really does piss me off. Now the next one is more towards men, and think about the average man. What do you think about the average man? And I think I asked the same question in the last video. So, your average man is, compare that to nowadays, then, let's go 100 years ago. What differences did they have? Maybe the man 100 years ago was not afraid of women as we are today, or say we as in modern men. are normally. You know, back then it was like, oh, she's pretty, I'll go up and talk to her. You know, nowadays it's like, oh, she's pretty, I'm not going to talk to her because I don't want to get rejected. Like, okay. The average man back then ate well and provided for his family and worked hard. Nowadays, that man gets bossed around by his girlfriend and eats shit food and plays video games all day. You know, and watches his girlfriend go off to work, if he even has one, and fucks up the dynamic of a relationship. And it just seems really weak. I understand we're going through a phase of good times creating weak men. You know, we just when I say just came out of hard times, there was a fair amount of periods during the 20th century, the 1900s, that were really dark times, Great Depression, World Wars, all that kind of stuff. And it created the strong men, the saying, hard times create strong men create easy times create weak men create hard times. And we're right in that weak men stage, We've just had a bunch of strong men give us really easy times, and we are pretty much in the phase of weak men. Now, with the help of self-improvement, the self-improvement niche absolutely blowing up, a lot of men who are willing to change our lives, like myself and you, are slowly building that back up. And these hard times, male loneliness, all that stuff, are here. We've got a bunch of weak men, we've got a bunch of hard times. It's on us to go out and rebuild, what society needs from us, We're going to create those good times again. We need to be those strong men to create the good times. And that is one of the best things that you can do as a man. Now, you don't have to be some fucking chiseled fucking Greek god, work 35 hours a day type shit, but you have to be working towards being the best man you can. Now, whatever that looks like to you, that's up to you, but you should be working towards, qualities and traits of a strong man. But unfortunately, we're still in a time where the average man is weak. But like I said, me and you, we're building it back up together. Now, the last one I have is kind of off the back of that ambition one, but people giving up on themselves too early. Now, I see this a lot when, especially like in our early 20s, even 20s in general. Things may not go wrong. You may have a rough start to life, and I'm talking like adult life, when you that transition from living with your parents and whatnot to full adulthood. And it's not easy. It's definitely fucking tough. And I'm experiencing parts of it, but again, I'm not nearly in a financial situation to where I can move out or actually start being a true adult, But it's scary. I'm not looking forward to it, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to shy away from it or I'm going to give up when I think times get tough, because that's exactly what a weak-minded person would do. And we need more people to, dig deep and keep pushing through, because tough times don't last forever. Nothing lasts forever, but tough times, there is light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how long that tunnel is, there is light. And it's unfortunate to see that people have, they may go through a couple of years of difficulty, and then that's it. All of a sudden they spiral out of control, and then they're, struggling, barely getting by, and it's just a shit life. Well, maybe decades. It may not be. It may just be a few months, but you shouldn't ever let life be you. It's a constant battle, and you need to be ready to fight all the time. And there's some absolute fucking weapons out there who are fighting against completely skewed odds, getting screwed over by life all the time, but they're still fighting through, and they're never giving up. But then you get other people who, minor inconvenience, and then their life, their world just turns upside down for the next year or two. And it's like, this one's very strongly tied to mindset and how strong your willpower is. Because a lot of people who don't have a strong willpower will just lay down and let life fuck them in the ass, as I like to say sometimes. Let life have its way. But you've got to learn to turn the tide and, what's the fucking term I'm looking for? Analogy. When life gives you lemons, cut them up and squeeze them in life's eye. I love that analogy. That's exactly the mindset you've got to carry. When life gives you lemons, cut the lemons up and squeeze them in life's eye. That's exactly it couldn't be summed up better. So if you are struggling in life, just know that, first of all, I got your back. Always. I'm supporting you 100%. Keep fighting, but also it will end. And assuming you don't give up, it will end, and you will come out 1,000,000 times better on the other side. So that's about it, I think. There's a few things that really annoy me in modern society, and I feel like things, especially Western world, will look significantly different if some of these were changed in the way that we know they should, Now this one is getting on, we're just over 23 minutes. If you are, struggling with converting from being a weak, you've been a weak man, and, you're struggling with improving, look, or, you're having ambition, you're not ambitious, but you want to be. You've got goals and you want to achieve them, but you don't know how. Or any kind of stuff. I'm here. I have a service. It's jump on the phone with me, and I'll sort you out. I'll help you work through some of the problems you may be having, and hopefully help build you a pathway out of that, and something that you can keep walking on and develop yourself into the person that you know you should be, that you and I both know that you should be. If you are interested, it's the top link in the description. If you're still here 24 minutes in, I love you a lot. Thanks again for 100 subscribers. Means the world. And remember, life is what you make it.